Donnie and Dolly, the team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
Just ahead of Ian Furness, this just in, Flames, Avs, Panthers in the National Hockey League have all postponed their games because of the COVID situation, the Omicron situation, through Christmas. 1 o'clock, Bonnie Henry speaks to the province to give a COVID update for this part of the world. Today's guest, including Ian Furness, standing by down in Seattle, brought to you by Langley Chrysler. This season is filled with holiday magic, and at Langley Chrysler, they are celebrating by giving you up to $10,500 off Ram and up to 15% off Jeep. As well, they're giving you an extra holiday cash gift, and they will donate a second cash gift to a family in need. To learn more, visit us online at langleychrysler.com. Flames, Avs, Panthers, their seasons put on hold through Christmas, as we bring in from KJR Sports Radio and Fox 13 Sports in Seattle, Ian Furness. How are you, sir?
Well, I'm all right, fellas. Good news all the way around, huh? Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
Oh, my.
Back at you.
What's going to happen with the Kraken this weekend? Any ideas at all? Because it is a big, big hockey weekend down in Seattle. Edmonton Saturday, Toronto Sunday.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't heard. I mean, it's I would just dare hesitate to ask or guess or anything, because it seems like it's all changing by the moment, to be honest with you. And that kind of seems to be where we're at. I know they've got a few guys in protocol, and they canceled practice yesterday, but I think that was just because, back to back and what have you. So it's just an ongoing nightmare that our world's going through.
And what about the Seahawks? Do you anticipate a reduction in capacity at Lumen Field?
Well, no, not yet. We haven't heard anything. I haven't heard that at all. I don't think they'll do that. I think the NFL is a little different than the NHL north of the border. It's odd too, guys. I mean, I'm in Houston last week, and it's like, they've eradicated the virus, which is, congratulations to them in Texas. But it's different everywhere we go. We're in LA on Sunday, and it was a full house last night at SoFi for Thursday night football. As far as Lumen Field, they've got 2 home games left: Chicago and Detroit, Boxing Day, and then the following week. So I don't think so. There hasn't been any talk in our county or our state. We're pretty locked down. I mean, we're far and away the strictest county/state in the country. I mean, in terms of you got to get tested, you have to either show a negative test or a vax card before you go to a restaurant and eat. Same thing going to a sporting event. So I don't anticipate any more shutdowns. I'm not sure there's an appetite or this area could stomach that again, especially the business community.
Apologize for asking those questions. You're right. Everything is a moving target right now. How about this? Seahawks have been granted Canada as an NFL international home marketing area. What does that mean for the Seahawks? And they're talking about the possibility of a regular season game in Canada.
Yeah, I thought we already had that. Like, honestly, all joking aside, I thought that the Seahawks already at least have British Columbia and Alberta, right? I thought that was already a done deal. So I was a little confused.
Maybe it wasn't official. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I was, when I saw that the other day, I was taken aback, because I know that the Seahawks had for a long time, they had a marketing arm in British Columbia. Yep. A guy Omar, right, that was running it up there, so that was. Listen, I mean, I think the Seahawks have always been. I mean, that's why I'm on, right? It's been on, here or even the old place. I think the Seahawks have always kind of been Vancouver and British Columbia's team. I'm not sure how far that extends. I chuckle. I go back in years ago. I think it was 2012, 2013, when the Seahawks played Buffalo in Toronto, and we're doing a pregame show like in the concourse of whatever they call the Sky Dome now, but we're doing a pregame show. And I'm standing up there kind of overlooking the field above some of the seating areas in the concourse, and a couple people had come up to me and had said hi and recognized us and from Fox 13. And I said, what? And they said, oh, yeah, we get you all the way out here. Not in Toronto Metro, but in like Hamilton or wherever the suburbs were. So and they were wearing Seahawk gear. So I always kind of took it to heart that the Seahawks were Canada's team. So this is news. This is news to everybody, I guess.
Yeah, I remember those games. First of all, they didn't go over as well as people might have thought. A lot of that had to do with the ticket prices, but I also remember Buffalo fans, some of them anyway, being upset that a home game was being played a distance away in another country. How do you think a regular season Seahawks home game in Vancouver, let's say, would go over with Seahawks fans?
Lead balloon, I think. But we're talking about a franchise here that has sold out 152 straight games. So I think you have to, every franchise is different. Buffalo at the time isn't Buffalo with Jake Allen now. They were a bad football team. Seattle boat raced them that day. I think both Marshawn and Russell ran for over 100 yards against them, and it was a Seahawk home game in Toronto. Buffalo fans were mad they didn't come up, but my opinion is I'm going to turn into the ugly American when I say this, but I just think it's ludicrous that they have games in Europe right now, home games for teams. Last I checked, we're not seeing EPL games over here. Is MetLife Stadium hosting, Manchester and Liverpool? I haven't seen that. Maybe I missed it. But the fact I know what the NFL is trying to do, the globalization of the game. I get that. I understand that. But to give up a home game when you only have 8, or I guess now possibly 9 in a season with a 17-game schedule, if you're a franchise that sells games out, that makes no sense whatsoever. If you're Jacksonville and you don't sell games out, hell, I'll tell you this. The 49ers, every time I've been there's been empty seats, and they always have an excuse. It's raining, the sun shines on that one side of the stadium, whatever it might be. But if you want to have a home game somewhere, hey, how about 49ers home game against Seattle in Vancouver? We're all in on that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Ian, can I go back to the Kraken? I just want to get a feel from you about that U.S. division in the Western Hockey League. How has it affected attendance in Everett, Seattle, Portland, Tri-City, Spokane, especially on the weekend? I imagine a lot of people would want to go see a Kraken game. But has that affected ticket sales in those Western Hockey League cities?
I don't. I think it's too early to tell, Rick. Okay. I do. I think it's too early to tell. And this is why. The WHL's U.S. division teams, traditionally, it feels like the season starts after Christmas.
Right.
And in terms of attendance. And, Seattle does the 2-for-1 Tuesdays, and maybe some of the lusters worn off of that. I'm sure it's taken a little bit of a toll, but it's a different price point. It's just a massively different price point. You can't buy a beer for what it costs to get into a Silvertips game and or a Thunderbirds game. You can't buy a beer at Climate Pledge Arena. So I don't know. I think we'll see more in the second half. My understanding is it really hasn't affected them yet.
Okay.
But it might be a little bit too early to tell. And I think what's affected, if there has been an effect in attendance in the U.S. division, especially with the Washington teams, and I think Portland would be in the same boat because Oregon's kind of the same rule set as us. The pain in the backside it is to go into a game. You've got to show a Vax card, or either a Vax card or proof of a negative test, into a game, and then wear a mask inside the arena. And I think there's people that just don't want to go through that process or deal with it. So, and especially kind of depending on where you're at, Snohomish County and South King County, the two places the franchises are located in, the Vax rates there aren't necessarily as high as they are, say, inside the city.
Seahawks and Rams, COVID. Oh, boy, the Rams, I think 16. Seahawks only 2, including Tyler Lockett. How's this going to play out in your eyes?
Well, the math's off a little bit, Rick. I hate to correct you. 25 now for the Rams.
Oh, my goodness.
23 of whom are on the 53-man roster. 2 that we know of as it stands. What time is it? 10 after 11? Yeah. On this Friday, there's 2 that we know from the Seahawks, Tyler Lockett and Alex Collins. They have kind of tweaked the rules in the NFL. You can come back earlier after a negative test. But I don't know, man. Here's the thing. The precedent has been set by the NFL. They're going to play that Cleveland game tomorrow, despite the fact the Browns have so many guys out. It appears they're full steam ahead. So, whether or not the Rams are able – I think it comes down to, can the Rams put, a team on the field? I don't know what the number is. I asked around yesterday. I wasn't able to get the number, how many guys do you have to dress? I think it might go back to the days of the Pac-12 a year ago. There's probably a common sense theme here. If you only have, say, 5 offensive linemen, you can't play a football game.
Yeah.
We saw the Broncos have to play a game last year without a quarterback, but I think there's certain position groups. If you only have 5 offensive linemen, maybe 2 defensive linemen, something along those lines, I think they're going to have to look at it. I don't know what the process would be. I did hear rumblings last night about possibly moving Seattle and the Rams to Monday night, like a second half of a Monday night doubleheader. They did play a game on Tuesday last year, Christmas week. Man, I don't know. They've got to play the game because the Rams are in it and Seattle is barely in it, but this is definitely a big game for the Rams. So I'm guessing we'll probably see it kick off at 1:25 on Sunday.
Okay, Merry Christmas, Ian. This is the last time we'll talk to you before Christmas, and Happy New Year as well. We're going to send you a couple of Kraken tickets, and I'll tell you why. Because on a weekly basis, all you do is complain about the cost of things at Kraken games. Like the beer, the water, the tickets, media, parking. So
I know.
We'll send you a couple of tickets.
Well, I need more like a gift certificate, like a couple $100 so I can have a pizza and a beer. But no, hey, listen, man, I went in the arena last week when Winnipeg was in town for the skate. The building itself is spectacular. I think that they as an organization probably need to check the ego at the door. We're starting to see some empty seats, guys. Yeah. We're starting to see a lot of empty seats there, and I think that's going to be an issue, especially when, boy, they're getting lapped in the division right now because your team's red hot. I mean, my goodness, was it Bruce? There it is. Here we go.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Ian, thanks for this again. Merry Christmas. Tickets on the way.
Merry Christmas, Rick, Donnie, and the producer as well. Congrats. See you guys.
Yeah. Thanks, Ian. Thanks for the shot at Ryan as well.
Yeah.